More than 58,000 American troops died in Vietnam. Those who returned did not arrive to fanfare or homecoming parades.
There were no celebrations or even thank yous. After more than 50 years after the war ended, veterans are finally getting the recognition and the thank yous that they deserve.
On this National Vietnam War Veterans Day, a Bismarck man says it's about time. Jody Kurzman has his story.
This is a South Vietnamese flag.
This flag is one of the few things Dennis Grenick brought home from Vietnam.
This is his writing. And there's my unit, Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 7th Regiment, 1st Marine Division.
The flag is like a yearbook.
Dave Nelson.
Filled with names.
He was my radio man.
And signatures.
He trained me.
Of friends made during the war.
I started having my buddies sign their name on it.
Many of those buddies never came home.
Killed in an ambush.
Dennis remembers them all.
George Capallo from Hawaii.
And more than 50 years later,
there's Robert Morris right there.
He still feels guilty.
Yeah. And I have survivor's guilt, and it never goes away.
Dennis was just 19 years old when he joined the Marines.
That's me right there.
Dennis was assigned to some of the most dangerous operations of the war.
I started out walking point, so you're the first one to get hit.
By age 20, he was a squad leader.
I had 16 guys that I was responsible for.
Were you scared?
Didn't have time to be.
Dennis wrote home often. His mother saved every letter.
I wrote and tried to keep them in the loop a little bit what I was doing.
This one was one of the longest letters Dennis wrote, detailing what he called a terrible tragedy.
My 2 buddies were killed, and I didn't even have a scratch.
Dennis did get injured twice.
Wounded in action.
The first left 8 pieces of shrapnel in his left arm.
But I was fortunate because they were all pretty small. The second time I was a squad leader, a rocket-propelled grenade blew up about 12 feet in front of me. And I was in the hospital for 10 days with a concussion.
Dennis was awarded 2 Purple Hearts.
There's the first one I received. I earned those. Yeah, but those guys that aren't here, they also got one, and that doesn't do them much good.
To this day, Dennis still wonders why he came home and so many others didn't.
I prayed a lot.
He thinks maybe it was his faith.
I'm here because God allowed me to be here.
He continues to thank God every day that his life was spared. In Bismarck, I'm Jody Kurzman, reporting for your News Leader.
Dennis spent 3 years in the Marines. He was promoted to sergeant while in Vietnam. After the Marines, he also spent 7 years in the Army Reserve.